Hello everyone, and welcome to TwstNotes, where I summarize the latest story update in JP. We got hit with a massive update that shares so much lore and backstory that honestly, it's a bit overwhelming. Also, I want to start this off with a correction. So I said in my last video that Malleus's mother's name was Melanior. That's how it's literally written in the game. I honestly didn't think a lot about it because it's like Melanior, Malleus, Militia, Oh god, I just had a realization. The Draconia family has the same fucking M name thing my family does. Literally almost everyone in my family has an M name, so... Oof. Oof. Oh my god, that's gonna mess with me. Anyways, so I thought it was Melanior because of the theming, and also Malleus isn't like a common name, or a name at all, so I took Melanior at face value. Well, it turns out that her name is actually Melanior, like Eleanor with an M. They wrote it down on the scene labels. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose it now. Her name is Melanior, and I was losing it last night too. Like, I'm sorry, but that's like, how do you carry an egg for an undetermined amount of time, spend 2 to 3 years pouring love and magic into it, and then literally name her Melanior? How do you do that to your baby? My entire extended family is Mormon, so this is okay for me to say, but that is literally the most Mormon name I have ever heard. I feel like I would turn up to Christmas dinner at a family member's house, and I'm seeing all my nieces and nephews, and there's like a brand new freshly born baby, and I'm like, "Aw, what's her name?" And then my aunt or whoever is like, "Melanior!" And then I just have to sit there the whole party trying not to lose it and act like, yes, this is an acceptable name. Like, I know that we need to be naming babies with adult names because people don't spend a lot of time as kids, and they don't need childish names when they grow up and are adults, but I think Melanior is taking it a little too far. Anyways, yeah, that's my correction. Her name is Melanior, not Melanior. Anyway, here's what happened in Japan. Yana really said, I'm gonna name her Melanior. This is such a hot take. I think Renesmee is actually a prettier name than Melanior. You guys are free to disagree with me on that, but I think I actually like Renesmee more than I do Melanior. Anyway, here's what happened in the Part 5 update, Part 69 through 87. We pick up from Lilia having taken a very bad blow for Silver. He's heavily injured and can't use teleportation magic, so they're gonna have to walk back to the castle. Silver, Sebek, Yu, and Grimm realize that they can fly back, and this will be faster, so they decide to go grab rooms and other supplies for the trek back. They tell Ball they'll get some stuff, and he tells them not to. He goes on to tell them that things are changed, and they need to give up and leave since this is now a far more serious conflict between humans and Fae. It's simply not their fight. The gang refuses, and Silver argues this isn't humans versus fairies, and he also wants to repay Lilia back for having taken that hit for him. Lilia can't reply because I'm pretty sure he's unconscious. They all argue for a bit and Ball relents and allows them to come with. The NRC gang goes to find brooms and anything else useful. They hear a crashing noise and go to check it out. Turns out there's some chefs that got left behind and they were hiding. They go from freaked out to relieved thinking Silver is the Dawn Knight to freaked out again when they realize he's not the Dawn Knight. The kids reassure them that they won't hurt them and they just want to find supplies. Grimm, however, decides to purposely scare them and you can either chastise him or join in. If you join in, Sebek yells at you. This is very important information. No, it just made me laugh. The chefs are confused why a group of humans will be helping fairies, and one of them wonders if the kids are being coerced. Sebek's stomach growls really loudly, so the chefs are like, oh, well, let's get you kids some food. The kids get dinner and then some food for the road, and the chefs tell them where to find brooms. One of them is still very fixated on Silver looking so much like him, who, as I mentioned before, is the Dawn Knight. Oh yeah, they don't ever mention who he exactly looks like, they just say that Silver looks like him. In the storeroom, there's brooms and like a shit ton of birds, because like carrier pigeons and owls and stuff for communication. Sebek gets an idea as he remembers that Silver is really good with animals. Silver also feeds one of the birds a bit of his bread. Oh, sweet angel boy. They regroup with the other guys and they get word that there's silver owls all outside the fortress. Apparently news of Lilia getting super injured has spread and now they're all trying to kill him. And the others, but they specify Lilia. Sebek and Silver insist on clearing the way for the other soldiers, and they kind of just go off before Ball can say no. Yu and Grimm hang back with Lilia, and the two retainers go to clear the way. There is indeed a shit ton of silver owls outside. Silver calls on the animals they freed from the storeroom and those from the local forest to all attack the silver owls. As the silver owls get distracted because they're literally getting attacked by animals, the Land of Briar soldiers move on out. They escape the fortress area but are still being pursued. After several skirmishes, the whole gang gets to the area just outside of the castle, and it's the castle from Sleeping Beauty. It's technically called Wild Rose Castle, but they also refer to it in-game as Melanor's Castle, so I'm just gonna use them interchangeably. The whole castle is surrounded, and everyone's debating how to get Melanior and the egg out of the castle. Lilia remembers there's a super old waterway underneath the castle, and that would be their best bet. They realize the Dawn Knight is at the castle, and Silver's ring starts acting up. Sebek notes he can feel magic from it and wonders what's the deal with the ring. Also, it makes Silver get kinda sleepy. We go over to the Silver Owls. Henrik, who, if you'll recall, is Princess Leia's brother, is a piece of shit and rude. He demands the fairies surrender and to give up the magical stone called the Princess Glow. He tells Melanior, who's deep in the castle, he will lift the siege as she comes out and duels with the Dawn Knight. Henrik is vying for land and resources and stuff, obviously, but he also wants the Princess Glow and the Dragon Egg. I guess he had seen it on a previous, trip to the castle and, became obsessed with it. I don't know if it's just, a greed thing, or if it's, it's low-key cursed? I don't know. The whole thing kind of sounds like it might be cursed, but that's just me kind of speculating. But anyway, the Dawn Knight is not happy about this, but when he starts to speak up, Henrik reminds him that the Dawn Knight wants to, quote, repay his father for taking him in. It turns out the Dawn Knight has a very similar background to Lilia. From my understanding, he was adopted by the king, kind of like how Melania picked up Lilia, but later the Dawn Knight and Leia, the king's daughter, fell in love and got married. The king is very gravely ill with an incurable disease. Legend has it that the Princess Glow can cure illnesses, so the Dawn Knight hopes by procuring it, it can save his life. However, he does not want this violence. Also, hello Rapunzel. The gang realizes time is wasting, so they teleport into the castle now that they have some strength. Melanior is singing a lullaby to Malleus, and it's the same lullaby Malleus was humming earlier. So, Melanior is fucking hot, but holy shit, I'm just very mixed on her as a human being. This feels so mean to say about my future mother-in-law, but damn. She has a worse temper than Malleus, and as soon as Lilia and the others get into her room, the throne room where she is, she starts yelling at them that they're late and immediately starts shooting lightning at them. She goes on this rampage for a few minutes and then stops and starts cooing at her egg and is already calling him Malleus. Lilia is like, you don't even know the gender yet, and she's like, I know he's a boy. This is so mean. Boy mom energy. That is so mean to say, but real boy mom energy. There's boy moms, and then there are moms who have boys. There is a very big difference between those two things, and she's not with the chill ones, which are the moms who have boys. Anyways, Sebek is overcome with emotion seeing egg baby Mal Mal, and Melanior realizes we're there. She notices we have non-fey ears and fellas. Turns out she's violently racist. Or speciesist, I'm not actually sure which one it would be. But she hates humans, and even with Lilia trying to protect the kids and explaining how much of a help they've been to the trip to the fortress and back, she flips out and tells the kids to shut up in her presence and forcefully makes them kneel and in the process hurts them. Ball even confirms and is like, yeah, Melanior hates humans, please be careful and just don't talk or look at her. So I'm sure y'all can see why I'm very mixed on her. I also don't like her attitude, but that's another thing. Once she's decided to stop being like that, Lilia asks her what they should do for the retreat, and she insists on staying behind and fighting the Dawn Knight and the other Silver Owls. She's aware of the duel thing and that they want Princess Glow, which is the stone in her staff, and Malleus. Lilia calls her out kind of in frustration and exasperation and calls her selfish and talks about all the times he told her not to do something and she did it anyway. And she's like, well, I mean, yeah, you told me not to, but you still helped me. Lilia points out that now Lavon's gone, what would happen to Malleus if Melanior was also gone? She explains that if everyone is focused on her, it gives them a good distraction to leave unnoticed. Also, she straight up throws Malleus's egg at Lilia to catch. She orders them to deliver the egg to Blackscale Castle. My guess from the scene labels and stuff is that Wild Rose Castle is her residence since it's labeled Melanior's castle, and there's another castle in the mountains that I'm pretty sure is probably where Melania lives. Lilia refuses to leave Melanior behind, and so she does what any sane woman would do. She starts attacking him with lightning. Silver steps in and takes a hit for Lilia, so she hits Silver again even harder. He's screaming at them that they love and care about each other, so to stop fighting. Ball steps in to help. Lilia is like, I don't know how to love a kid, it needs true love and magic to hatch. And then Melanior is like, what are you talking about? You told me you loved me when you proposed to me, were you just lying? And Lilia is like, that was 200 years ago, I was a kid and didn't know shit. So yeah, we're all reeling from the fact that Lilia had a thing for Melanior, but then she's like, you loved Lavon too, you spent more time with him than I did. Fellas. Okay. Her huge win for the bisexual and polyam communities. Oh my god. Anyways. Her point is that he couldn't not love her and Lavon's kid because he loves both of them. Lilia is still refusing, so she summons, thorny vines to drag them out of the castle and into that old waterway. Lilia is not doing great, understandably, and Ball has to give him a pep talk. He says that they should believe Melanior will beat their asses. We cut over to her and she's made it storming, and although I don't care for her all that much, I have to admit it's a bad bitch moment. She's like, well, you silver owls made rules for yourselves. That's cute. I'm not following them though. And immediately goes dragon mode and starts destroying them. Also, we get to play as her as a dragon, which is fun. However, she's being a baddie too hard, and it causes the underground waterway to start to, cave in. One of her attacks sends the Dawn Knight flying, and he lands in the waterway from a hole in the ceiling. Or the ground. They're underground, so the ceiling is the ground. The ground level. You guys know what I mean. It's the top part of the waterway. It's caving in. More of the ceiling collapses and buries him, Lilia, and Malleus. Silver starts panicking and his necklace starts glowing. The Dawn Knight says some sort of incantation and he digs himself, Lilia, and Malleus out of the rubble. He asks if the egg is okay. We get a face reveal for him and he's identical to Silver. His hair might be blonde and it's long, but he looks just like Silver. Everyone is freaking out because, hello, identical, and they have the same ring necklace thing. The Dawn Knight is also confused and says the jewelry was gifted to him by fairies and should be the only one that exists. Melanior is trying to track down the Dawn Knight and is coming. He quickly tells the others that Henrik wants the egg and to hurry up and escape. He leaves to continue fighting Melanior. Silver is not doing great, to put it lightly. He's very freaked out about what just happened and is having a complete mental breakdown. He remembers Lilia saying that he found him abandoned with that necklace. Silver starts screaming and sobbing that his blood relative is a silver owl, and the darkness comes to claim Silver. Ball and Lilia are understandably also very freaked out by everything going on, and Sebek urges them to leave while he, you, and Grim will take care of Silver. The men leave and the gang struggles to save Silver. We cut to our sweet baby angel boy. He is having a time! He's having flashbacks ranging from his own memories to Lilia's. He sees Lilia finding him as a baby and we get the full picture. After 300 or 400 years-ish of war, peace treaties are in action and Lilia now has the chance to visit the now abandoned Wildrose Castle. It's covered in foliage. We learned that after Melanior died, the castle was given to Leia and the Dawn Knight. However, land disputes happened and the two died during one. Lilia hears a baby crying and breaks into the old castle to find out what's going on. He finds a blonde baby Silver in a cradle in the throne room, sobbing. Lilia uses his unique Maho Far Cry cradle to see what happened. It basically extracts memories from objects so Lilia can see what happened in the past. He sees Leia preparing to leave the castle for that whole dispute thing that she and the Dawn Knight die in. 3 guardian fairies tell Leia they will protect the baby and put him to sleep until someone who loves him comes by, and then the spell will be broken. So Lilia broke the spell, albeit unintentionally. He contemplates killing Silver, but then realizes he couldn't face Malleus if he did something so heinous. Silver's hair changes, and Lilia names him Silver, like a reference to Moonlight, since his dad has, golden hair that's referenced as looking like sunlight, so sunlight, moonlight, that sort of thing. Lilia can't find a name on the cradle, or, the ring, or, anything, so Silver's, birth name is just presumably lost to time. No one knows what it is. Maybe we'll find it out later. I don't know. I think it's just lost. I don't think we're gonna know. Silver ends up having a nightmare about being the Dawn Knight and Lilia trying to kill him. Silver knows it's a dream, but he wants to fall into it deeper because he's going through it. Lilia's voice comes through and tells Silver to keep pushing through and get up and not to give up. Meanwhile, Sebek, Grim, and you are in the darkness trying to reach Silver and save him. Sebek uses his unique Maho living vault to get closer to Silver once they see him succumbing to the darkness. It's not really explained all that well, but it's he has lightning, and his body is also sort of like lightning. I don't know, it was 5 a.m. and I was running on 40 minutes of sleep, so admittedly, I was not reading the section as carefully as I should have. But that's the gist of it. Anyways, they grab Silver, who's now convinced because he's the son of the Dawn Knight, he can't love Lilia truly, and Lilia also can't love him completely. Sebek points out this is ridiculous and hits Silver, trying to snap him out of it. He presents the evidence of reality that no, Lilia really does love Silver. Malleus really does love Silver. They all love Silver, Sebek included. It's an incredibly sweet speech from Sebek. Silver realizes Sebek is right and once again inspired to work hard to become a knight. And also just snapping out of it in general. The rain starts acting up again and Silver's sperm donor dad shows up in a ghostly form and smiles at him before disappearing. The darkness disappears and the kids are still on the bridge in front of the castle where the battle is still going on. The gang realizes that there's tracks from the Silver Owls' shoes going after Lilia and Ball in the forest. They realize something terrible might happen and hurry after them to help. And that's where the update ends. We got fed so much the Insomnia family. I didn't cover all the memories with them because, like, remember how I talked about that tile battle system a few videos back? That's in this again, and a lot of the memories are tied to those, so I haven't played through all of them. But there's a lot of cute ones, like Malleus helping Lilia raise silver, and not gonna lie, he was actually more present than I thought he was. We do have a very funny moment of Malleus showing up because Lilia called him, and Lilia immediately dips because he has to go get baby formula for silver, and Malleus is like, Lilia, do not leave me with the baby. I just met him. Oh my god. It is a very cute moment, though, because then Silver starts crying, and then Malleus is like, oh shit, I guess I know one lullaby. I don't remember where it's from, which hurts, but it's also very cute that he hums that for Silver, and Silver calms down. It's very cute. Anyway, this was hands down the best story update in Twist to date, and oh my god, even though I was exhausted from all the battles and tile bullshit, and also the running on 40 minutes of sleep, it was so worth it. Like, the story was just so good, and god damn, Malleus's mom is hot. Milphobia cured. Oh my god, no. Nothing will ever cure me of that. Also, I will say there's this weird, like, inky looking substance on Malleus's egg, and I'm very curious to find out what that actually is. Like, is it blot ink or just... I don't even know what it could be. It's just kind of there. Like, I don't think it's a part of the egg, like the egg design. I think it's, like, something on the egg, but I'm not sure. I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, this update was just everything we could have asked for and more, and I'm very excited for EN players to get it. Once again, thank you everyone for watching my videos. If you would like to support me beyond liking and subscribing and all of that, I have a Patreon and I also have channel memberships. If you like live streaming, I live stream over on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. But yeah, thank you guys for watching my videos and I hope they help you. Bye! Shameless plug over.